Hey everybody, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and follow all of my social media. Here are some things you're going to need. Some scissors, some beeswax, some needles, and thread. Also, paracord for if you're making anything other than earrings. This is to stabilize it. It'd be way too heavy for earrings. This is just paracord I got at Walmart. And also some cotton, like polyfill cotton is what I used. Also, some sharp fabric scissors to cut your paracord. And this is just one I have measured already. Also, a lighter to burn the ends of your paracord. And that is pre-measured to just under 3 inches. That's about the size of a cigarette. It needs to fit in there and be able to bead it in hidden in there. Alright, let's jump into the beads. So I use Miyuki Delicas, hopefully I'm saying that right, 11 O's. And this is for the filter. This is an ivory pearl. And then the main color is Hawthorne. And these are also Delicas, 11 O's. And I got these from Barrel of Beads. For your stripe, you can use green or red or gold or blue, whatever color you want for the stripe in your filter. This is just green and then bright red. It just depends on whatever, if you're making menthol, full flavor, lights, whatever color. And then for the cigarette portion, like where the tobacco sits in, whatever that would be called, I don't know. I use either a matte white or a chalk white, whatever I can get my hands on. Michael's was out of the white. I ended up going to Hobby Lobby. So for the ash and like the fire colors, I use a dark cream and then a matte black. And then I also use a gray. And then this orange, I am not sure what color it is. I'm just going to call it flame orange. It looks similar to the flame red that I got from Barrel of Beads. I just don't know what the actual name of it is. But I got the other ones at Michael's and then those ones off of Barrel of Beads. And you'll also need some waist beads. So I'm just going to use these two. I'm using these two for a reason. I'm going to pick up my first two in a different color, which are going to be blue, and then the other in green. So we're picking up 14 beads altogether, and I'm doing a voiceover, I'm sorry. So 14 beads for the waist beads. Oh my gosh, brain fart. So pick up 14 beads, and once you got the 14 beads on your needle, you're going to count. You're going to double check. You're going to make sure that you have those 14 beads, because if you don't, oof, just make sure you have 14. Alright, sounds great. So here we are, counting our 14 beads. I just go by 2, making sure I've got those 14 beads on there. And if I don't, and if I have more, I take one off. If I need another one, I put one on. And I double check because I do not want to be messing up here. So I'm going to pull them all the way out until I have a little bit of a tail here, because we're going to use this to weave in the rest of our beads when we're done. So this is why I chose to do 2 different colored beads here. So we're going to go back up through the first 2 beads that you put on. And if I'm annoying you and you already know how to do this, then just mute me, skip, I don't care what you do. So we're going to go up through our 2 beads. I also forgot to mention that we do need a bead around something, so if you don't want to use paracord or whatever, find something that works. I'm just using paracord to bead around, and this is going to be for a keychain, so I am showing you how I bead around the paracord and how I use it for a keychain. So we're just slipping this on here, pulling it tight, and we're going to start our first row here. So our first row is going to be ivory pearl, and we're only putting 7 beads on at a time. And if you already know how to do this, like, don't worry about this. I did slow just in case, so people that don't know how, they can kind of follow along. So we're going out of that blue bead, we're going to skip a green bead, and we're going to go into the next green bead. And it might be a little fidgety at first, trying to get your beads to lay flat and whatever. And excuse my fingernails, they're a hot mess. I had fake nails on, I ripped them off, damaged my nail beds, whatever. Yeah, I also have a band-aid on because, as you will see later on in the video, I was trying to cut a piece of paracord for a keychain, and I also cut my finger because I'm accident prone. Hello, how are ya? Nice to meet you. Alright, let's get back to what we're doing. So I put that first bead on there, and we're going to pick up another ivory pearl. We're going to skip this green bead. See, we're coming out of that one green bead, the one next to it, we're skipping it. We're going to go right into that next green bead. And if it doesn't lay flat, we'll fix it. You just gotta fix it to work with you. It's fine. You tell those beads who's boss. Don't let those beads walk all over you. You can do it. We're gonna pick up another ivory pearl, and we're gonna skip a bead, go through the next bead. Oh my gosh, I hate doing voiceovers because it's so slow. And I have no idea what to talk about in between. So, sorry. You might get some silence. You might hear some Miss Rachel, some kids, some who knows in the background. So we're going to pick up another ivory pearl. And we're going to skip a bead. And go through the next bead. And I turned my air conditioner off. So if you're not hearing like that loud, that's because I turned my air conditioner off. Because it's kind of cold. So we're just picking up ivory pearls, skipping a bead, going to the next bead. Until we get to where we're placing the very last bead. And that's important. And I really wanted to dumb it down so you guys could see that you have to step up for those who don't know. So skip a bead, go through the next bead. And of course, here I am fidgeting with it. Sometimes it doesn't work for me either, guys. I just have to yell at it. Like I said, make those beads work for you. So we're skipping a bead, going through the next one, and this is our 6th bead that we have placed on, and we have one more bead to place on. And if you heard that, that is my tummy growling. I have not eaten. I am hungry. So, this, I want you to pay attention to if you don't know how to do this. We are skipping this last bead, but we're going to go through the second bead that we put on all of our waist beads. And we're going to go into our ivory pearl, the first bead of this row that we put down. And this is called stepping up for the next row, round, whatever. So, and then I want you to make sure that all your beads are all facing the same way, going up. Not facing down, going up. This is how I work on it. I'm right-handed. You may be working on it differently if you're left-handed. I'm not too sure how to film that. I'm sorry. So now, our next row is going to be hawthorn. And don't worry about those waist beads because they don't even matter at this point. We are going to put a hawthorn in between the ivory pearls. And we're putting 7 beads down again. So this is our first bead. We're going to pick up another hawthorn. We're going to go into that ivory pearl bead. We're going to pick up another hawthorn and go in between those 2 ivory beads. So you're just essentially putting a bead down in between the last beads that you put down in the previous row. Make sure that you're pulling tight, but not too tight to where it isn't able to move on the paracord or whatever you're using. And also, if you're going to make a pair of earrings, you can bead around the paracord, and then when you get to the end of the ash, you can slide it right off. But if you're making a keychain, do not slide it off of that paracord because you will not be able to get it back on. Trust me, I know. So we are almost to the end of this row of hawthorn, round row, whatever. And this last bead here, we're going to pick up and we're going to go through that ivory pearl, that first row, and then the second row, which is of hawthorn, and here I am missing it. Oops. So through the ivory bead and the hawthorn bead, and we're stepping up for that next round. So this next row is going to be another row of hawthorn. So we're going to be putting a bead, obviously a bead, hawthorn in between the other hawthorns. I swear, the voiceover is going to be the death of me. So just put hawthorns in between the hawthorns. I'm a visual learner, so when someone's speaking to me, I'm just like, please shut up. So if you have to mute me, please just mute me. I won't be offended, I promise. So just go on putting those hawthorns in between the hawthorns. And I am gonna stop doing an entire row with you here soon. So if you have to rewind or whatever, do what you gotta do. Yeah. I don't know why I keep having such brain farts, but I do. So, sorry. Alright, and this is our last bead that we're putting on. So we're going to go through both hawthorn beads here because we're stepping up for this next row. And this next row is going to be an ivory pearl. And this is where I am going to just place my beads and come back when I'm done putting my beads on. So we're going to pop an ivory pearl in between each of those beads that we just laid down in the previous row. So now we're going to step up into hawthorn and ivory pearl. And I'm going to show you one more time how to step up. But this next row is going to be a row of hawthorn. So I'll be back to show you how to step up one last time. So again, we're going to go through that ivory pearl and that hawthorn for this next row. And we are going to be placing a row of hawthorn, and I will be back when I have all beads on. Okay, so I'm going to be placing another row of hawthorn, and I'll be back when I have those beads on. Okay, so now we're going to be doing another row of hawthorn beads, and I will be back when I have them on. Alright, so now I am just showing you a little bit of the pattern, and this is like a finished filter. I'm just showing you, trying to get you to see the pattern. I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully you do. If not, maybe the second or third or fourth one you'll be able to pick up on the pattern. So this next row is going to be ivory pearls, and when I have them done, I'll be back. Right, so I finished this ivory pearl round, and now we are going to go in with a row of hawthorn, and when I have them on, I'll be back. Alright, so now we are going to go in with another row of hawthorn. Sorry about the fuzziness, it's my gooseneck. When I'm done, I'll be back. Now we're doing another row of hawthorn, and I will be back. Now it's a row of ivory pearl, and I will be back. So now we're going to be placing a row of hawthorn, and I will be back when I have this row on. Now I'm going to be placing another row of hawthorn, and I'll be back when I have them on. Now we're going to place another row of hawthorn, and you already know I'll be back. So this next row is also going to be hawthorn, and I will be back. So now it is going to be a row of ivory pearls, and I will be back when I have them on. So this next row is going to be a row of hawthorn, and when I have them on, I will be back. So this next row is going to be a row of hawthorn, and when I have them on, I will be back. So now I'm finished. I'm going to do a row of ivory pearls. I'm just showing you some of the filter here, trying to show you the pattern. Repeat. If you don't get it, it's okay. This row is hawthorn, and when I have them on, I will be back. So now another row of hawthorn, and when I have those ones on, I will be back. So now I'm doing another row of hawthorn, and when I have them done, I'll be back. Now we're going to do another row of hawthorn, and when I have them done, I'll be back. Now we're going to do another row of hawthorn. Now we're going to do a row of ivory pearls, and I'll be back. Now we're going to do a row of hawthorn, and I will be back. We're going to do another row of hawthorn, and I will be back. Now we're going to do a row of ivory pearl, and this is the last row until we do our stripes. So you can choose to do red, green, blue, white, orange, pink, purple, whatever color you want for your stripes. We're going to do 2 rows of the stripe color. I am just doing red in this video. Doesn't matter. Do what color you want. So by now you should know how to lay down beads. So I will be back after I get this first spread down. So now I'm doing a second row of red, and we have 2 more rows for the filter, and the filter will be complete. So this next row is going to be a row of hawthorn, so I will be back. Now we're going to alternate. We're going to pick up ivory, and then do a hawthorn, then an ivory, then a hawthorn, then an ivory, and then a hawthorn. So we're just alternating those filter beads. So we did the first ivory, now we're going to do a hawthorn. Next one will be an ivory, and then the next one will be a hawthorn, and then an ivory, and then a hawthorn. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll show you how to do the white part of the cigarette. The filter's complete. Let's start the white part of the cigarette. So we are just placing one white bead in between every single bead and going up, putting white beads in between the other white beads. And we are going to do 18 rows. And I'm going to show you how I count those 18 rows. Because obviously we're going up by 2. So 18 times 2, I think that would be right. Yeah. So we have to double those rows. So I will be back to show you what I mean by 18 going up. So when I say going up, we're going to count going up in a row, not by 2, but just each row next to each other. So there's 2 rows, we're going to be counting 18 up like this. So when you have 18 beads going the long ways and not like spiraling around, if that makes sense. So you just want to count that first row and then go over and count the second row. Because if you look, one bead is down further and one is up within the rows. So just go count 18 going up, and that is when you know you have done all the weight that you need to do. So now we have our white done, and this is what it's looking like. Cute, right? So now we're going to start our ash, and I'm just double checking, making sure I have 18 beads in both of those 2 rows there. So double check that before you move on. So now we're going to do 2 rows of dark cream. So here I am just placing the first row of dark cream on, and I'll be back. So now we're going to do another row of dark cream. Now we're going to get into like the lit fire part of it, and this is the sequence the beads are going to go. Orange, cream, orange, cream, orange, cream, orange. So pick up your orange, place that bead, pick up your cream, place the bead, so on and so forth. So I'll be back. So now we're going to do orange, orange, cream, orange, orange, cream, orange. So just like that, place them on there, and I'll be back. So now we're going to do red, red, orange, red, red, orange, red. Now we're going to do black, red, black, red, black, red, black. Now we're going to do black, black, red, black, black, red, and black. Now we're going to do black, cream, gray, black, cream, gray, black. Now we're going to do gray, gray, cream, gray, gray, cream, gray. Now we're going to do black, cream, gray, black, cream, gray, black. Now we're going to do gray, gray, cream, gray, gray, cream, gray. And I accidentally picked up the wrong bead, but I am going to fix it. So sorry about that. I just wanted to say that, but I was supposed to put a gray and I put a cream. So now we're going to do black, black, gray, black, black, gray, black. Now we're going to do black, black, cream, black, black, cream, black. So now we're going to do 2 rows of gray. So here's our first row of gray. And our second row of gray. And now we are done with the ash, and I'm going to show you how to close it up. We're going to weave all of those 7 beads we just put down. We're going to do it about 2 or 3 times. We're just going to go back through all 7 of those beads that we laid down, just to tighten it up some. And now we're going to kind of do like what we did to step up into the next row. So we're going to go under that first gray row we put down and our last gray row. And this is how we're going to close. We're going to pick up a gray bead and we're going to skip 1 bead. So we're picking up that gray bead, skipping that 1 bead, going into the next. And we're going to pick up another gray bead. And we're going to skip a bead and go into the next. And then we're going to skip another bead and place another gray bead. So we're going to have 3 gray beads for our final row. We're just skipping every other bead. And then we will sew up our 3 beads, tighten it up, and go around so we can make it close and tight. I wasn't sure how I was going to end it, but this is the way I like it. So I just did the 3 beads and weaved it. So now we have those 3 beads, and we're just going to go back in those 3 beads, and then we're going to sew onto the previous gray round and on the previous gray round, and then hide in our tail. So now just weave in your tail and make sure that you have it good and weaved in there so it doesn't come undone. Now this is what it's looking like, and I'm going to show you how to weave up the other end as well, and also show you how to stuff if you're doing an earring, and also show you how to add the hardware on. So this is just ripping out all of our waist beads, and you're going to do this for, you know, a key ring or whatever you decide to make, even the earrings. So you're taking off those waist beads, and we're going to use that tail that we have to sew in, and it's basically the same thing as the edge part. So we're going to thread our needle, and we're going to go back through those 7 beads that we first put on, which are the ivory pearls. So just weave these beads tight, and then we are going to do like a step up like we did through the hawthorn and the ivory, and then we will skip a bead, put on an ivory pearl, skip a bead, put on an ivory pearl, skip a bead, put on the ivory pearl, and sew back through those 3, and then go back into those previous rounds to sew it down. So we're doing the same thing we did with the ash part for the filter part as well. Here I am just weaving in those 7 beads, trying to get it tight. I'm stepping up into that hawthorn and that ivory pearl. I'm going to skip a bead and place down an ivory pearl, skip a bead, ivory pearl, skip a bead, ivory pearl. I just take a pair of pliers and push those beads down, kind of to flatten it out, or I put it on a table, whatever. They do kind of poke up a little bit with the paracord in there, so just try to flatten it the best you can. It's okay if it doesn't, you know, exactly go flat, it's whatever. So now we're just going to weave in our ends and cut. This is what it looks like finished, and now I'm going to show you how to stuff in the earring. Now I'm going to show you what I do for the earrings. We're just going to take cotton, a little bit of cotton, and we're going to use a crochet hook, whatever you can find, to shove it down in there. Do a little bit at a time so it's not lumpy and bumpy. Just put it in there, work with it. You just got to work with it. Now I'm going to show you how I add the hardware. So I'm just using these crystal Delica beads. And also I use these 4mm, what are these? Whatever those things are. An earring hook, jump ring, that's what those things are, jump ring. Some pliers, and this is how I do the earring hooks, and then I'll also show you how I do the keychain. So it's basically the same thing, adding both, except it's different hardware. So you're gonna find a bead that you can go from one to the other. So you're gonna like kind of make a bridge. So we're doing a little brick stitch work here. So we're gonna find a bead that we want to go through, and I'm gonna choose this one. So we're gonna have a threaded needle on. You're going to leave a tail so you can weave in, and you're going to go through whatever bead you decide you want to do the bridge from one side to the other. You're going to pick up a clear bead, and you're going to go back through on the other side of where your string's coming out, and you're going to do a little bit of reinforcement. So you're just going to go through the crystal bead, through the ivory bead, through the crystal bead, just so it's on there good. And then you're going to want to go back through the crystal bead, and you're going to make a bridge of beads up through there. And I'm doing 5 beads for this. And the reason why I chose 5 is because when you put your jump ring on, and your earring hook, you want it to sit in the middle. So that's why I chose 5. So I'm doing 5 clear beads, and we're going to connect it on the other side, and I will show you how to do that as well. So I'm just reinforcing, adding a bead, and reinforcing. And I don't know if I mentioned this in the video earlier, but that band-aid was covering that. This has been like a 3-part film day, because I have kids and everything. So I had a band-aid on because I cut my finger. But yeah, I don't have it on today because I'm not bleeding everywhere. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm healing. So yes, 5 crystal beads to get to the other side. So now we have the 5 on, and we are just going to connect it to the other side. Now if you were doing a key ring, like a keychain, you would put that keychain in before you connect it to the other side. So then you don't have to worry. So we'll go through the ivory pearl, through the crystal bead, then back through the ivory pearl and the crystal bead to reinforce it, and then we'll weave in our ends, and then I'll show you how to throw on that jump ring and earring hook. So I'm just choosing to put it right there in that middle bead, and of course can't get it to go through. They're little tiny things. Get it on there and put your earring hook on there before you close up that jump ring. Now I'm going to show you how to do the keychain. So we already have our 5 beads on there, and we're going to pass that needle and thread through the key ring, and we are going to close off onto the other side. So we're just going to go across into that other ivory pearl bead, and we are going to go into the ivory pearl, into the crystal, and just secure that on. Now we're going to weave in our tails, cut off, and I will show you the finished products. So this is a finished earring, and also here is the key ring. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching.